Broadcasting live from the Georgia World Congress Center. For Fintech South 2022, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio. Brought to you by Atlanta Blockchain Center. Now, here's your host.
Lee Kantor here, broadcasting live from Fintech South 2022, and I am so excited to be talking to Kristin Slink with Tech AF. Welcome, Kristin.
Thank you for having me today.
Well, tell us about Tech AF. How are you serving folks?
Absolutely. So I have to start a little bit about me. So I'm a former fintech founder. I started in online lending about 12 years ago.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool. So buy now, pay later, before it was even a thing.
Wow.
I was in that space. I actually recognized an inefficiency at the time. And so I set out to raise money and build a company around making it a better user experience for businesses that were offering loans to their customers at the point of sale. And so I grew that as a non-technical founder, just came from the industry, made a lot of mistakes.
Sure.
Sold that company in 2018 to a company based here in Georgia. And so I based that company was based in San Diego, moved out here about 4 years ago, worked with them for a little bit, and then really wanted to give back. And so since then, I was working at Georgia Tech at their incubator, running the fintech vertical for the last 3 years at ATDC. Yeah, and so I just recently left to start Tech AF. And so I am focused on early stage entrepreneurs when they have an idea, particularly if they are non-technical and are not sure how to get a product built or get that company off the ground.
So how has the adjustment been from California to Georgia?
It's been really nice. I actually really dig Atlanta. If you were to ask me 5 years ago if I would see myself living in Atlanta, I would be like, no way.
Where's Atlanta? I traveled through there, but I've never stayed there.
Yeah, I was in San Diego for 11 years, and so it was time for a new adventure. And when I came out here, I just really fell in love with the city, especially the ecosystem and our fintech community, which you can see from today.
Now, talk a little bit about the difference. Like, what's the fintech scene like in San Diego or California?
At the time I was a fintech founder, non-existent.
Really?
Yeah, so it was really difficult to find people that understood the industry and could help connect you with businesses, mentors, and resources to take the business to the next level. Coming here to Atlanta and actually being one of those resources for founders was really eye-opening to the power of this community and how really Southern hospitality is a thing.
It's kind of, I think, the secret sauce. The level of collaboration is real. It seems like people sincerely want to help each other out.
Absolutely. And everyone's coming together, too. So it's an ecosystem. We all specialize in different things. You know, I'm particularly focused on non-technical founders at that early ideation. There's programs like ATDC that are there once they have that company.
Right.
And then we have funds and stuff for when they grow and become big, like Greenlight that we saw yesterday with Jason Cook on stage.
So now for you personally, when you have an exit, you could have left and gone anywhere. Why'd you stay here? Was it because of the ecosystem? Now you kind of are starting to have roots here?
It was kind of like I already picked up and moved here, so I might as well see if I like it. And I really just fell in love with the city after I really got into the ecosystem, meeting people. It just is really a vibrant community.
So Tech AF, how did that whole thing come about? So you exited, and now what is the vision of Tech AF?
Yeah, it's really to support founders where I wasn't supported. And so my own personal experience of trying to figure out how to build a tech company without knowing anything about tech, and also helping early stage founders, I really recognize a gap for those founders of a really easy way to learn how to create a business, solve a real problem, and tech is just the product. And so it's really demystifying a lot about the tech industry. You know, certain founders are celebrated, the tech bro, so to speak.
Sure.
And so it's really just shedding a light that founders can come from anywhere, they can look like anyone, and as long as they have those skills to move that business forward and know what to look for and know who to go to get that tech built and surround themselves with a good team, you can make anything happen. It's just putting that work in and understanding the steps to get there the quickest way.
So how does it work? Is it a physical location? Is it all online? What is the community?
It's a 16-week program that I do, and I run cohorts. And so I'm running one starting on July 6th. I already have a handful of people that are coming through, all from different industries, that notice an inefficiency in their own day-to-day, that recognize, I think I have a solution to this problem, but they just never saw themselves as a tech founder.
But it's virtual?
It's virtual, and then I also do some in-person activities here locally, but it's really not specific to Atlanta. It really can help anyone, anywhere.
But it's a program that has a beginning and end, and there's a community within it. It's not asynchronous where I can just jump in and...
Yeah, so we run it together. There's 5 modules. Correct. So we go through it together. We do weekly coaching calls. I also team the entrepreneurs up together. There's a lot of group sharing, and everyone has their different, superpowers to help one another. And so it's really collaborative. We have an online community, and it's really just being there for one another. And then I also bring experts in to talk about their experiences or certain proficiencies that they have. Maybe they're really great at customer service, or they're really great at setting up sales teams. Bringing in that level of knowledge from the community also helps these early stage founders.
And it's industry agnostic as long as it touches technology in some way?
Correct. So not a service-based business, although if it is a service-based business and they're looking for technology to put into there to scale, that's a perfect person to me. So,
and then what level, like what stage do they have to be? Can they have just an idea on a napkin stage, or do they have to have revenue? Like where
I
do they
specialize on the napkin stage. So most resources for early stage founders really want them to have a product revenue and customers. I'm before that stage. So I help them get into those programs like ATDC or get ready for an investment.
So it could be a young person, like a college student, or it could be anybody at any stage.
It
like
could
they
be
have an
anyone.
idea.
It could be anyone at any stage. I've been really honing in on executives, so someone who's been in industry and recognizing something there.
So you're looking specifically for that executive that maybe has backburnered on an idea and is ready to take that next step into making it real.
I work in fintech. I do customer service. I realize that there's this big gap in what I'm doing. There's no products out there that exist. I have this unique idea about how to fix it. I just don't know how to get there. So I help people like that really recognize their potential and get them to the place where they can take advantage of a lot of the resources.
So now is this July cohort the first one, or has there been ones before this?
There has been ones before this. So I tested this out last year with 5 different women, and they're all moving forward, building their products and their companies, which is really exciting.
And then, so they're obviously, before they have revenue, before they have investment, it's all self-funded, most of these people?
Yeah, it's all self-funded. And I actually help them after they graduate the program to figure out how much it's going to cost for them to build the tech, how to focus on generating revenue, and also trying to find non-dilutive sources of capital because they are so early stage. So I don't want to take equity, and I don't want them to give away equity unless they have to. So it's really building that value of the business and the vision before they go out and they seek that external capital where someone's going to want equity or want something from them early on.
So now, for you, what are you looking to get out of Fintech South? Is it just to network and kind of meet more people, or are you speaking? What's your role here at Fintech South?
I spoke yesterday during the Innovation Showcase, and so I was on a panel. It was an entrepreneur, me, a VC, Dan Dreschel from Panoramic Ventures, and an executive from Fiserv. And so we were talking about innovation within Fintech, and I always say that I am the advocate for early stage founders.
And then, so what do you need more of now? How can we help?
Awareness, so letting everyone know what Tech AF is and that we exist here for founders at that ideation stage before they get into all the programs. Because what happens a lot of times is you think you can get funding with an idea on a napkin. And so those founders go out and they start to try to raise money and get turned down.
And they get frustrated or they quit.
It defeats it, right? It feels defeating. And so I'm trying to get to them before that point.
So they can get a win to help them be ready for that first step almost.
We have a lot of loses as entrepreneurs, and so it's
it's hard. It's hard. There's no easy way to do it. I mean, unless you're lucky or super connected.
Yeah.
You know, otherwise you're in a grind. So you better get as many resources and have as much community around you to support you.
Yeah, so community, mentorship, guidance, even confidence. Leadership building.
And hard truths. I'm sure that's what a lot of it is, too, is to manage their expectations.
I'm very authentic, so I'll tell the truth of how it is. Some things aren't fun. Selling a company isn't fun, for example, and I'll talk about that. But it's really understanding the reality and knowing what you're going to get into. And there's just so many people out there that are so resilient, and they just need a chance to shine.
Right, and so opportunity.
Exactly. So I'm trying to help level the playing field, so to speak.
So if somebody wants to connect with you or get involved in the community, what is the website?
It is www.iamtechaf.com.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. You're doing important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, this is Lee Kantor. We'll be back in a few at Fintech South 2022.
This episode has been brought to you by Atlanta Blockchain Center, the catalyst for Atlanta's emergence as the premier blockchain innovation hub globally, through cultivating entrepreneurship, inclusivity, and education. To learn more, go to atlblockchaincenter.com.